God wants your total love. He doesn't want something partial or part of your love. So when you feel that you are one with Him and He is one with you, and this is that type of love that Bhagavad Gita is addressing. The Gita is addressing this. Wherein you feel your oneness with the Divine. So clear off all your human emotions. And then begin to love God in your heart, who is there, lodged there within you as yourself. So this too is addressed in the Bhagavad Gita, because your emotions are being addressed, taken care of. Then the next factor which it addresses is, it's very clear that you are in human bondage. You are bound to nature. So nature, the Bhagavad Gita uses the word Prakriti, Mother Nature as such. And you are involved in nature. You are bound to nature and bound by nature. So this is human bondage. Nature is of two forms. Nature which is outside and the nature within you. And more often than not, everyone is bound to his own inner nature, to his nature which is there within himself. His nature means his human nature. So everyone is involved. Every moment of his life he is preoccupied with his own human nature. And this involvement and preoccupation and entanglement with your human nature, which is part of nature, which is part of Mother Nature, because this body is there. This body is part of nature. So also your mind is part of nature. It is subtle matter. Body is gross matter, mind is subtle matter. So matter being matter, you are caught and enwrapped in this matter. So this is bondage, in the human bondage. And the Bhagavad Gita addresses this also very, very carefully in many sections. The word used there is Prakriti. Prakriti is nature. Nature. So therefore now, since you have got tangled up with Prakriti, you got involved with Prakriti, with nature, your human nature, in the form of your human nature, in the form of your what? In the form of your ego. Because no one ever says that I am the ego, but nevertheless you have an ego. You have your desires, you have your likes, your passions, your human feelings and your human emotions, your thought patterns, all of this put together, your structure of the mind, the way your mind is operating. All of this is part of your human nature, and you are involved and caught in this. So therefore you have got to get yourself disentangled, obtain your release from nature. So this science is also, this process by which you can get yourself disentangled and obtain your release from nature, or get liberated from nature, is also put across in the Gita. In simple terms, in the Indian system of thought, this is called the Sankhya philosophy, wherein Prakriti is there and you are the sentient being, the Purusha. And the Purusha, now you, the sentient being, is now wrapped up with Prakriti, the nature. So the whole idea is to understand nature, nature for nature, nature as it is. And to understand Purusha, you are the sentient being there. And then to get yourself freed and released from the workings of nature, so that you can become, you can get your release and become isolated from nature. Or when I say isolated, means obtain your release from nature. So the way to do that is also mentioned there. In fact, nature is very beautifully described. Nature as such is constituted of the three modes. The modes of, that's how the Bhagavad Gita brings it out. Modes mean the three modes of energy constantly operating within yourself and also in outside nature. So within yourself, the three modes of nature which operate are the Sattva mode of nature. The Sattva is the serene, peaceful, calm, and the mode of nature full of light. Full of light. So that is why at certain moments in your life you find that you are very calm, you are serene and full of light, that you are able to see and discern things, and you are at peace with yourself. Then at that time what has happened is, The sattva mode of nature is operating in your body and in your system and in your mind. It operates everywhere in nature. That's why it's being brought out. So in your mind structure, the physiological structure of the body, it is operating there. So at that moment, when it operates, you are calm and serene. And then at another moment, the active mode of nature begins to operate, the rajasic mode of nature. And when this begins to operate, you are full of energy and full of dynamism. And you want to function and operate and do many things. You are restless. You cannot keep quiet because there is an energy there within you. A little girl of 4 years old, she was making a lot of disturbance and moving about and dancing about, and the parents told her to keep quiet. Now the little girl comes and tells me in my ear, I have too much of energy, I can't keep quiet. What a great truth that is. So therefore, this mode of energy is there operating. So when this mode of energy is in operation, so that is why children are very active all the time, because at that moment their energy is all in their legs and they keep on dancing and moving and running about. You just can't ask them to keep quiet, because it is that energy which is in motion there, which is propelling and impelling them to function. So at that time, that rajasic mode of energy is there. When you are young, it is. That's why young people run about and jump about. So this is the rajasic mode of energy which is in operation. Then after that, at another time in your daily living, the tamasic mode of energy comes into your being, and then you are dull and lethargic and heavy, and you don't feel like doing anything. And a certain amount of dullness has settled in you. That is the mode of inertia. The energy of inertia has come into you. And generally this happens when you are about to retire to sleep too, so that you can sleep peacefully there. If you are very active there, you cannot go to sleep. So you want to quieten down, and this energy comes and takes over and overpowers you. And at that moment, the tamasic mode of energy has settled in. So these three energies are constantly in operation. You call it in your nature, in your character of being. So first and the factor is, any one of the three energies can overpower the other two and get into operation at any time of the day or the night. It is like three corks. You have three corks bobbing in the water, and you have only two fingers to press any two of them. So when you press two of them, the third one bobs up. So these three energies are exactly like that. So any one of the three energies takes the higher, becomes more active, and the other two it suppresses. So as such, these modes of energy keep on constantly changing in your nature all the time. All the time it changes. So how to deal with it is indicated. First you have to understand that this energy is in operation, and then thereafter how to deal with it is also indicated in the Bhagavad Gita. Then, so we have, thus it addresses all these aspects, interrelated aspects, in its very teaching itself. Then thereafter, you find in the Bhagavad Gita, the spiritual path is clearly indicated. And there are two ways by which a human individual can live a spiritual life. So that is why in the Gita it is said, Asmin loke dvita nishta pura prokta mayanaga jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam. From ancient times, in this world, two ways of living a spiritual life have been revealed from ancient times. Two ways of living. One way, jnana yogena sankhya. That is to say, one way is an exclusive knowledge discipline. And the other way is karma yogena yogina. The other way of living is the path of action of the yogis. The path, so these are the two paths or the ways of living which have come